Hello and welcome to another episode of Arsenal Above All. How are you all? 24 hours after that performance yesterday. It's funny how things change or turn out with Arsenal extending their lead at the top of the Premier League table after a really, unforgettable draw against Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest, doing a number on us yet again, or Mikel Arteta yet again. Thanks for joining us tonight. I've got two top gents with me. I've got the quiz master, Cornelius O'Donovan. How you doing, Cornelius? He's back for a second bite of the cherry. He's
very well. Thank you.
Doing?
Very well, thanks.
Great to have you back. It's a pleasure to have you back. Thank you for your time. And of course, I've also got the most dangerous Arsenal fan alive, the Arsenal Jason Bourne, the Arsenal John Wick, Neil Shah. How you doing, Neil?
I could be better, Michael, but your introduction always brightens my heart and my day.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to brighten stuff up for the last 24 hours. After what we witnessed.
Yeah, this as a football weekend goes, this is the best part of it. Hearing that intro in full, as always, and seeing you lovely two gentlemen. So it's made my day. Thank you.
Lovely stuff. No, thank you very much. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. So let's get into it. Arsenal, disappointing draw yesterday against Nottingham Forest, especially off the back of what happened at lunchtime with Man City, losing yet again in the league. And this time to Man United, obviously, who we face at the weekend. Going into that, obviously, we always have the hand grenade which goes off, which is the lineup. And we saw a couple of changes. We saw Martinelli and Madueke start up front alongside Gyokeres, who, again, after his performance yesterday, we'll probably get into that as well. We won't skirt over everything, Cornelius, because it's been done to death, in the space of 24 hours. But what are your thoughts on just the way we went about that game? Do you think the players were caught between two stools? Do you think they kind of wanted to manage themselves? Did you think it was a combination of the schedule that we've had? You think of the teams that have played quite a high number of games this month, ideally, i.e. City, Newcastle, who we've played, obviously, Carabao Cup games on top of everything else. Do you think it just basically was a catch-up of that, of the schedule, or do you just think these players still have got that PTSD, basically, of not letting this slip up again with City still there in the shadows?
Forgive me if you think I'm wrong here, but I think if the Manchester derby had been played at the same time as the Arsenal game or after the Arsenal game, I think Arsenal would probably have been more on the front foot and would have attacked the game more. I think they thought they'd rather not lose a point rather than go for the win. So I think they were a little cautious in that respect. A couple of seasons back, we got a 0-0 draw at the Etihad Stadium. I don't know whether you remember. And the media at the time kind of crucified Arteta, saying he was a little negative, a little cautious. Yeah. And I thought that at the time that was a little unfair, because a draw at the Etihad was a good result. But I do wonder whether there are times that Arteta is a little on the overcautious side. But bottom line is, we're a point near the title and a point further ahead of Villa and City. So it's not been a bad weekend at all.
Yeah, well, what's your thoughts on it, Neil? I mean, thinking about it, reflecting on it, obviously I was thinking the lineup. Was it the lineup? I think Arteta probably got it wrong with the makeup of the attack, basically. He didn't have any sort of technicians up there. You've got Madueke, who can beat a player and looks really good on the eye, but no end product. He's got no goals or assists in the Premier League. We know what he's done in the Champions League. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think he's coming to blame? Do you think the players are partly to blame in how it panned out, or do you think it was mainly on Arteta? For me personally, I think Arteta picked the wrong side. Yes, I think he realised he did. That's why he made the half-time sub. And he very rarely does that. And then obviously he seemed to have given certain, three of them. We've got 10 minutes. You've got 15 minutes. He dragged three of them off after 10 minutes into the second half, and all of his substitutions were attacking ones. We've bashed him over in the past, but all of the substitutions he made in the second half were all attacking ones, and he seemed like he wanted to obviously go for it and rectify it. What was your thoughts? Do you think it's who do you think to blame for that kind of performance yesterday, and how do we fix it, man? Because games now without any goals, lacking composure up front. What's the answer, man?
Well, it's clear that our attacking lineup is just firing blanks like the old Jaffa cake. It's we can't sustain this model. I'm sorry. I know, Cornelius, you're quite right in saying that results went our way. We've gained a point, but we shouldn't have to rely on other teams. We have to be stamping our authority on this league. We've got to make the rest of the Prem very fearful of us, and we're just not doing it. This is the second time in the space of a fortnight where we've had an opportunity to go so far ahead of our nearest rivals, and we haven't taken it. We've gained 2 points where we could have gained 6. And I think Cornelius made one great point, which I never thought of. If the games had been played at the same time and not knowing City's result, I think that would have been maybe a bit of a different impetus and dynamic in the game. I think you're right with that. I do believe that. I think because we had that safety net because City lost.
Yeah.
We kind of rested on our laurels a little bit. Yeah. Now, in terms of blame, I think it's a bit of both. But actually, for once, which you might be surprised to hear, Michael, because I have been on Arteta's back a little bit, I'm going to go more with the players this time. And I'll tell you why. That's a team full of internationals there. Yeah. There's no excuse. I know the combinations and the partnerships might not be there up front. But still, if you think about it, they're international players. Even Madueke plays for England, doesn't he? Martinelli plays for Brazil. I mean, they're all international players, and they should do better than that. Yes, granted, maybe for this game, the selection should have been a little bit different. I feel sorry for the likes of Mourinho, who's done very well when he's come on. Eze, who's not got a chance. I mean, maybe rightly so for a certain amount of time, but he's still a quality player, and he should be getting game time. Odegaard was abysmal, so why isn't Eze playing? You've got these factors. Saka. For me, Saka Madueke, the conundrum is this. I think Saka is still a world-class player, but he's definitely dropped off. He's not the same. He's not the same as he was. Ever since he's come back from injury, and I have no idea what the reasons are. There's no real reason for it. I don't think it's an injury hangover. I just don't think he's been the team player he used to be. He's become a bit more selfish. Now, I don't mind forwards being selfish because sometimes I think we play far too many touches to try and create the perfect goal. And I'm just thinking, just take a shot, please. But I think he's gone almost to the other extreme, the polar opposite. But to be fair to him, when he came on, he was great. He did make a difference. So as did Marino. So there is a debate in my mind going on. There's no wrong or right answer for me. But I think there is a bit of an all-round blame here to be discussed. But for me, I think the players just were abject. There just wasn't anything going on there. And when you think that you've got an amazing opportunity to really grab this Premiership title by the horns, and you don't take it, once you can be forgiven against Liverpool. To again at Forest, I just think, I know Dyche is very difficult. I know he sets up to really frustrate us, but we should be good enough to be able to put these teams to bed. If you think about Liverpool and Man City at their peak, they would have put this game to bed. Doesn't matter even if they were going to go 12 points or even 15 points clear. They would say that, you ain't catching us no matter what. And we're just not doing that, in my opinion. It's very difficult to understand what other motivation these players need, because they do need, I feel, a kick up the rear end. And if Man City were closer, again, similar to what Courtney said, closer to us, that's why I said to you guys in the chat today, Michael, that I wouldn't mind Villa winning today, because that will edge them closer to us. That might be the kick we need. It's almost as if we need to feel like we're under pressure to perform. Why is it, like in that which game was it where we started performing in the last 4 or 5 minutes? Was it against Liverpool? I don't know who it was against. It just doesn't make sense. Why can't you play well for the whole 90 minutes? Why do you pick and choose certain segments of the game? You have to be consistent for the 90 minutes. And I can understand. I wanted Kai to start this game. I was saying it to Jack in a conversation I was having with him. I wanted Kai to start, but okay, he went with Gyokeres. I kind of understand it because he did do well against Portsmouth. He showed us what he can do. But then that's Portsmouth. It's different league. So I don't know, Michael. Unless you have the answers, it's difficult to completely understand what went wrong. All I know is they don't need further motivation to do better, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's worrying, really. The type of performance where you have, nobody really turned up. No one really sort of, was really exceptional. That all were sort of under par, undercooked. There was nothing. I mean, you look at the stats, and you see underneath the XG was really good. We should have scored 2 goals. I can't legislate for Martinelli missing an opportunity like that. Even though it came from, I think it was Madueke having a shot which took a deflection, it went through to him or something. I just kind of wonder that for the last couple of games, I think, especially up front, it's almost like we're playing with 10 men. With Gyokeres having such a difficult time adjusting with the team and everything. And yesterday, it's almost like we played with 9 because of Odegaard's performance. And let's get our teeth into this here. He's captain and everything. And remember last season when he got injured, and he came back, and I think forgive me, I think he came back against Chelsea, didn't he? We played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and he looked amazing. He was running around like a lunatic, and we thought, yes, he's back, and we got our creative spark back and everything like that. And he done really well for 3 games, didn't he? He looked like he was back on it. And then he just fell off a cliff. His form fell off a cliff, and it's been like that. Ever since he had that blowout season, really. The second half of 23-24 as well, I thought he was really good. Same things happened here. He looked really good. He got that assist against Aston Villa. When he set up Zubimendi, and a lot of stuff was coming off. And it looks like, for me, yesterday, I mean, for the 10 minutes that he was on in the second half, I just kept my eyes on him. And the guy was hiding. He didn't want nothing to do with the game. He was standing behind the Forest players, and all he was doing was pointing. He was just pointing here, pointing there. Pass it to this person. And I just couldn't believe it, and he's the captain. You're away from home, you've got a chance to put a marker on, get 3 points, get the win, get this 9-point lead. And the fact that he's been taken off again, Guy, how many times has he been substituted? He just looks really, really weak. He was getting barged off the ball right from the first minute. Elliot Anderson here, I think this might have been in the first half when this incident happened, and just shrugged him off the ball really easily. He doesn't win any physical duels, any duels. Really, he's just really, really weak, and I just can't understand what's happened to him. Do you think Cornelius, his part to play in the team is kind of, we're at a crossroads really, because I think we need a different type of 8 in there now, because you've got Zubimendi and you've got Declan Rice, and Declan Rice, I think apart from him, there's no runners, there's no one who's going to be crashing the box that much. I think Zubimendi has shown he can pick a pass out. So then, what's Odegaard there for? I don't get it. But what's your thoughts on just how his performance seemed to fall off a cliff?
It's interesting you say that, because a few months back, Tony Adams spoke out and said that they should hand the captaincy to Declan Rice.
Yeah,
and he was the only one who, I think, at the end of the game yesterday, actually, sections of social media are suggesting anyway that Declan was turning the air blue with what he was saying at the final whistle. I think he felt that we're throwing away a great chance of not picking up the 3 points. But he's more of a leader at the moment than Odegaard is. Whether it's a confidence thing or not, I don't know. But is he the international captain, Odegaard?
Yeah, he's captain for Norway. Yeah, captain for Norway.
He should be a leader on paper, shouldn't he? But he's not. He's waning, isn't he?
Yeah,
his influence is waning.
Yeah, it's kind of. There's lots of rumours that we've heard, Neil, about him whether it's his diet or anything like that, and he just seems to be a bit weaker. But he's not engaging in challenges. He seems to just get brushed off the ball really, really easily. And I think that sends a message around to the rest of the team when they see that happen, because they're going to have to do extra work. They just can't rely on this guy. They can't overcommit when he's in a duel or when he's in a 50-50, because they're thinking, oh, he's going to lose it. So we're going that way rather than thinking, oh, he's going to win it. Let's go that way. Let's commit a little bit and try and, steal a march on the opposition. They can't do that. So they have to kind of be on the back foot all the time. He's Arteta's favourite, and as we know, and I think he's a reflection of Arteta's way he played when he played for Arsenal. I mean, we've all watched Arsenal for a long time. I'm sure lots of people in the chat has, but I was fortunate to work at Arsenal for a long time and basically see all the home games. And I remember when Arteta came to Arsenal, and obviously he came in as a replacement for Cesc, wasn't he? Because obviously he left. And Arteta at Everton was a really maverick sort of midfielder. He used to bomb around the pitch, fire shots in from long distance, really cultured, really, really, really technically good player. And we were thinking, oh Christ, where's he going to play? And it turns out he kind of modelled himself into this sort of deep line playmaker, getting the ball off the back four. And the amount of times I remember watching games, and the amount of times that we had a break on or we had an attack and the ball would go to Arteta and he would absolutely kill the actual the attack. He would kill the momentum of the game by taking an extra touch or turning back on himself and then playing a 5-yard pass to Per Mertesacker, a 5-yard pass to Koscielny or Vermaelen, whoever it was, and then get it back again and then give it to Sagna and then get it back again and then give it out to Clichy. And that's all he used to kind of do. He used to stifle the whole, suck the life out of the sort of the momentum of attacking. And it seems like Odegaard is doing exactly the same thing. He just wants this control thing. And I think we've gone beyond that now. You see someone, obviously, hopefully in the summer we get someone like Morgan Rogers, and you kind of think what he does when he gets the ball. He's just all action. It's going forward. I just think the game, the where we need to be. I don't think Odegaard is going to provide us that anymore, because you can't rely on him opening teams up anymore. Really, you can't. And physically, you can't rely on him as well. He's just not. When it comes down to getting in the trenches, he's not the guy you want next to him. He's not doing it anymore. How many times have you seen him like be on the edge of the box and do those? Remember, he used to do those little scoop passes. So at least he was trying to sort of unlock the door. He's not even doing that anymore. He's not even in that position anymore. The only thing he's done recently was that assist he gave to Zubimendi for the goal against Villa. Lovely little pass, but I don't get it. I'm really baffled as how this guy's fallen off a cliff so much, and how he. This is the key thing for me. I'm rambling, but Eze against the Villa, he switched off, and we know what happened. The Villa scored. Eze didn't see any football for a good couple of weeks, and he just got frozen out. Odegaard, loses duels, doesn't do the defensive side of the game so much, but he's picked, and he's picked again and he's picked again and everything. So it's Arteta's selective ruthlessness, which I think is going to be the thing that's going to kind of worm its way into the squad, and they're going to look at that and going to think, like, this guy isn't pulling up any trees. He's not doing these defensive shifts. We're having to work a little bit harder, and you got a guy, and you froze a guy out for just switching off. He switched off twice, to be fair, Eze, in that game. He switched off, but the game before, he scored a hat-trick or a couple of games before, he scored a hat-trick against Tottenham. The game before that, he got an assist against Bayern, which opened them up, and we beat them. So you've thrown all that out the window just because he switched off. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why you can't treat one guy one way and then try and then treat the other guy with kid gloves. I don't know what you think about that, Neil, mate.
I think I'm not going to repeat what you just said, because I concur with it. I think he's. I don't know what to say. I mean, he when he's on song, he's fantastic. He's unbelievable, but he doesn't do it enough. Was it you that used to say he disappears in the big games as well? He can be seen. I don't know who it's. Someone used to say that even in the big games he seems to disappear. And I'm not saying that's still the case now, but the point is you've got to be visible every game.
Yeah.
Don't matter whether it's a League Cup game or whether it's the title decided for the Prem. It doesn't matter. You're the captain. You look at our great captains of the past, Adams and Vieira, and then even going further back. You know, they set the example. I know I keep going backwards and forwards with my thinking on this. Sometimes I feel that, all right, he is a great player and he is a good captain because he does lead by example. He does this and that and blah, blah, blah. But I am still old school and I still want that vocal, you know, someone really getting in your ear when you do something wrong or you're looking for guidance. And I don't think he's that right player, even to the point where I actually think his game will be better not being captain. I think his game will improve not being captain, whereas giving the captain's armband to the Gabriels or the Rices of this world will actually enhance them even further up, because I think they will relish that responsibility.
Yeah.
I just think he's not a captain first and foremost. Whether that is playing on his mind when he's on the pitch because he's thinking, not only I've got to do my footballing duties, but my captain's duties, I don't know. But the point is that only he will know that. But the point is, as you said, he's bullied easily as well. Forget all the technical stuff that he does. The way he was losing the ball yesterday was actually embarrassing. And actually, quite a few of our players were guilty of that yesterday. We could not hold on to the ball at all. They looked physically stronger than us, and they showed it. And that's Dyche all over. Now, how long ago was it? Very recently, wasn't it, Michael? That I was saying we are now the bulliers. We've overcome that. And I felt that we'd reverted back to 4 or 5 years ago again yesterday. Yeah. I just felt that, look how easily they are bullying us, and it's almost like they're intimidating us. We felt that we played with not just caution. I actually felt at times we were playing with fear, and we were so nervous because we couldn't even string a pass together. We were sloppy when we had the ball. I mean, what is this? And look, we take into effect the fact that we're playing 3 games a week. We've had a very unlucky draw of the hat where a lot of our games in January are away games, 4 or 5 consecutive away games. I take all of that on board. Look, I understand it. But when and even yesterday, say, for example, the context is different. Say we are in touch with Man City and Liverpool. We're all on the same points. And they've dropped points and we don't want to lose, like what Cornelius said, and we want to try and just, at least if nothing else, keep a clean sheet. If we get a point away to Forest, it's a different. But we are seeing Liverpool completely dropped off this season. Man City are just not the same team as they have been. Yeah. And we are in control and we don't grab that. It's so frustrating. It really is. And I don't know what the reason is, but I do believe, and I don't care if people hate me for this, I do not think Odegaard should be captain. It should be Rice or Gabriel. Whether that makes a blind bit of difference to him, I don't know. And what is annoying, you're right, I am so livid about Eze. He makes 1 or 2 errors and that's it. Yeah. That is the way how you can really ruin a great player's mindset. I feel last season he did that to Ethan, where he should have had more game time, and this season. I feel that he could potentially do that to Doberman. I mean, I know he's young, but I hope he doesn't. I hope he really does make use of him. But, Eze has just come in. Everyone was so amazed and thrilled by his signing that, wow, we've got him. How did we get him? Right under Tottenham's noses. We've got him. And look, and now we're treating him like this. Like a player that has like a couple of minutes here and there. I mean, he's not a kid. He's another international. He's a damn good player. Let him atone for his mistakes. If you punish him by not playing him, he can't atone.
Yeah.
Get him back on that field. I want to see him start in midweek. I want to see Marina start, and I want to see Kai Havertz start midweek.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does midweek. And you're right. The fact that he's not been given an opportunity and he's been completely frozen out of games, not given any minutes whatsoever. That's just a strange one, really. And as you said, how do you give someone a chance to atone if you don't give them the minutes? But I think also at the same time, I think there's been certain instances where we haven't been in a position to give him minutes because games have been in jeopardy. And you know what Arteta's like; he's more worried about losing than going ahead and winning games. So let's jump into the chat properly if you haven't had it yet. So thanks for everyone that's just come in, for all the good chats. Kicked someone out who said that we were putting him to sleep. Sorry about that. They obviously didn't watch the game yesterday, so obviously Anyway, Brenny, thanks for being in the chat. 100% Cornelius, he said this yesterday. We need to play same time as City. So vexed that we should be 11 points clear. We're thinking the 4 points that we've dropped over the last couple of games. It is disappointing. How are you doing, Steve? So we shouldn't overthink it. These results happen in the season. We focus on putting it right in the next game. Yes, and in the league, that is, it's a big one against a recharge Man United. Brenny said, players who follow the manager's instructions, I would hate being micromanaged. The players also have to discipline the manager at times to get a result. Steve says we need our players to start hitting form at this time of the season. Yes. Look at Liverpool second half of last season. They dropped a lot of points in the second half. We never took advantage. Yeah. So you kind of hope that it goes the reverse, because obviously we're getting a few players back from injury, and Havertz has been one of them. No, from the fans feeds into the players. Yeah, but they should be stronger than that now. I think we believe that we would run over them in the second half, but they kept going. Design belief is the only way Arsenal win big ones. Yeah. Thanks, Mac. Steve said Odegaard looks shattered. He played too much recently in his game. He's non-stop running and pressing, and he should be playing 65 minutes a game. If he's doing that, well, yeah, he played 57 minutes yesterday. So let's see what that does to him midweek. I'm sure he's going to probably play in that one. Marcus said, it's universally accepted that Odegaard needs to be replaced as captain. Arteta needs to make a hard decision and bring Eze in. He's no longer effective in his role. Yeah, there's lots of things, obviously, as we said, just lack of creating opportunities, but he just seems to be taking himself out of that sort of situation, Cornelius, where he could get challenged, and because of that, he's doesn't want to put himself in that sort of situation, in that sort of little pocket. Yesterday, picking the ball up in a safe place and playing a nice 5-yard pass rather than getting the ball and driving at the back four, knowing that he's probably going to get buffeted off the ball and lose the ball easier, then it creates a turnover. So again, he's playing in fear, with a little bit of fear for me, and that maybe just means might have something to do with his physical makeup at the moment. Steven said, agreed about Arteta wanting Odegaard to play like this because we see it with Eze when he comes on. Arteta needs to stop being a control freak and sit down for a bit, standing outside Kira and screaming constantly. He's not acceptable anymore. Let the players play. Yeah, he did say that. I think someone asked him about that at the when he first took over and said, "Oh, Miko, are you going to be talking all the time?" And he said, "Oh, I need to do it because I need to get the instructions across. I need to help them. But once they get it, I'll relax a little bit." 6 years on, he's still standing up and doing it. So what is he doing on the training field? I asked. James, how you doing, mate? He said he's had Odegaard. He's had 3 great games, and now on a stinker run again. Overplaying, coming deep into our half, into the influence in the opponent's box, doing horseshoe footy. Absolute weakling as well, sadly. Yeah, and James says he's been on the cow gate with Fabio Vieira. Needs to get on the way or crazy, just get solid meals in. Yeah. Everybody saying facts to you, Neil, what you were saying about Odegaard, he shouldn't be captain. Yeah, so I'm going to try something. Obviously, Neil is obviously, as we know, is the most dangerous Arsenal fan alive, the Arsenal Jason Bourne and the Arsenal Jason Wicks, and he's also a guinea pig as well. So when something happens for the first time, Neil has to be on it. So this is the first for Arsenal above all. And because it should be pretty straightforward, because obviously Cornelius, you will get involved as well. So what we're going to do is some player ratings, and what I'll ask you is for you to let me know where you want the player to go, and just give me, if you want a reason why you want to put the player in a particular place. So let's see. It's sort of a scratch looking at the moment, so obviously as I get to play with it, it might look a little bit better. So let me see if this can make this work. So let me know if you can see it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go through the team. the lineup yesterday, and I'll go to you, Cornelius, and you'll tell me where you want that player to go, and then we'll you can just let me know where what the reason is. So, David Raya, where would you put David Raya yesterday?
I would say solid, because I didn't really see that much from him yesterday. You guys probably saw the game live. I listened to the game live on Radio 5, and I saw the highlights of the match of the day. And he was certainly alert early on, because he came charging out of his goal at one stage when he saw he saw Forest attack. But I didn't really think he was overly tested. So I mean, I'd like to say very good, but he didn't get much practice yesterday. I thought so. Many saves. I would only say solid.
Okay, nice one. Thank you, Neil. We'll go with Ben White.
Ben White, I think, hasn't been. Yesterday was probably not the best of a bad bunch, but I thought he didn't do too bad. I'm actually going to go solid for Ben White as well, because I think actually since he's come back and the cameos and the appearances he's made, he has been solid. Yeah. So I'm going to go solid for Ben White as well.
Perfect. If those in the chat, if you agree or disagree, feel free to jump in. No problems with that. We'll get to you as well. So back to you, Cornelius. William Saliba.
I would say very good, and that's probably why Raya didn't get that much of a look in yesterday.
Yeah,
I think he helped protect him.
Good stuff. And Neil, Gabriel's.
Gabriel. Look, I love our defense, but I think I'm going to blame the whole team yesterday. It's a solid. I'm going to drop him a bit. Solid.
Right, cool. So who's next? Is Urian Timber playing at left back. Cornelius, what would you give him?
I didn't see much of him on the highlights. Probably the highlights are very cruel to him. I don't know. So I feel at my depth here. I don't think he put a foot wrong though, so I'd have to go a minimum of solid.
Yeah, I thought he looked a bit shaky in the first half. He could have given away a penalty and he gave the ball away a couple of times. That's really, a couple of silly bits, and his head went a bit, knocking the ball out of play. Yes, solid, but maybe mixed.
I remember the incident now. It was just outside the box, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I think in the second half he was, he didn't really put a foot wrong really. So fair play. Neil, Zubimendi.
It's gonna get boring. I keep saying solid, isn't it? No, it's so difficult to. Solid.
Yeah.
No reason, solid.
No problems. Cornelius, who's next? Obviously, we've got our captain, Mike Odegaard. You got the bad one. Normally, Neil gets that, but you got the.
I kind of feel obliged to say mixed here. I'm sure you understand.
You want to go mixed?
I disagree. I don't think there's a tier low enough for him in this one.
So we say must do better. Yeah.
Utterly abject. Can you write that in quickly?
So what are we doing? Must do better?
Oh, 100% for me. But it's Cornelius's thing. So.
Cornelius, where do you want to put him?
I feel he's still our captain. We've got to support him mixed.
Oh, he's too kind of Cornelius.
Might have a few in the comments over the go at you there, but we'll see. And we've got Declan Rice for you, Neil.
He's the only one that kind of he gets involved. I'm going to go very good. He's the only one I think that stood out for me. I could be wrong. But do you know what? I'll be honest with you, Michael. I actually lost. I know I wouldn't never do it, but I even remember I quipped in the chat. Wake me up when we score, because I was just losing interest in the whole game. I thought I was so disappointed with all the players. So I to be fair, I've not even watched any highlights. I've not looked at any of it again. I haven't even read the reports the first time because I was so disappointed with the result. So I'm only going on what I saw, but I do remember, there was a couple of blocks he was getting in, and he was always there at the right time when we got into a little bit of danger. So I think if anything, I would suggest that he was probably the best of the bad bunch. So very good, I think. Yeah,
he got on the end of that cross from Saka, wasn't it? And he hit it into the ground. Could have done a little bit better there. But thanks for that, Neil. Cornelius, Gabriel Martinelli.
At best, he was solid. He did miss that sitter late on, didn't he?
Yeah.
But having said, he's had a hell of a month, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I can't give him any more than that, I think. Yeah.
So what are you going to give him? Solid?
Sorry, so I just say solid. But it's a low solid.
A low solid. Neil Madueke?
Do you know what? I have sung his praises till the cows come home. And I actually thought that was probably one of his worst performances, in my opinion. Yes, he hasn't been giving us end product apart from the Champions League where he scored a couple of goals. Yeah. But he's one of the few forwards that excites me when I watch him. I've always sung his praises. For me, I know he got slightly better in the second half, but for me, that was one of his worst performances that I've seen. I think it will be probably a bit of a injustice to say must do better, so I'm going mixed with Madueke.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Let's put him in there. And we've got Viktor Gyokeres for you, Cornelius. You've had the two bad ones tonight. So where you putting him?
Well, firstly, when Arsenal signed him, I was so excited because I felt Arsenal never had a big bustling centre forward since the days of Malcolm McDonald in the late 70s. And I'm a few months older, I think, than either of you. And he was such an exciting player when he came to Arsenal in the summer of '76. Although McDonald, to be fair, was a lot better in the air. I don't think Gyokeres gets any goals in the air.
No.
So I want the guy to succeed, but whether he's Neil mentioned earlier that he thought that Saka could be a little selfish, and there are times I think Saka doesn't give the ball easily away to Gyokeres. It's like that. I don't know whether it's like the Mane Salah thing at Liverpool when Mane never got the service he thought he should get from Salah. So yes, we have to say must do better, but I still a great believer in him anyway, and I want him to succeed more than you know.
Fair play. And we go to the subs. I mean, it's quite difficult. Is there any of those there, guys, that you would want to put in any particular spot, any particular place in that?
I thought Saka tried. I will actually put him high, solid, or almost. I'll go very good for Saka. To be fair to him.
Yeah.
Saka very good for me.
Yeah.
Jesus was
Sorry.
So, Gabriel Jesus was a sub, and we nearly won a penalty just after he came on. What exactly constitutes a penalty these days, though? Because did you feel it was a penalty? Because
if we knew that, we'd be millionaires, Cornelius.
I thought it was a penalty all day.
Alan Shearer was quite vocal anyway that it wasn't a penalty, but I mean, what's his name? Ola Arn or something? The Nottingham Forest defender. I mean, I've never heard of him before, but what a Scrabble score he would be if you want to get rid of your vowels.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he actually put something on his Instagram as well, making reference to that, basically saying that he got away with it. Basically, he made a reference to a wrestler, Eddie Guerrero. James, if he's in the chat, he'll know about it. But yeah, he made reference on his Instagram, basically saying, I did it. I knew what I was doing, and I got away with it, basically. So yeah, it was a handball. Everyone who says it isn't a handball will say it is a handball if it happens to their team or they've got any purchase in the game. So it's one of those ones. It was ridiculous, but I thought he could have done a bit better when he came on. Didn't really offer anything. I think Trossard game passed him by a little bit. I think he should have maybe started the game. And Eze didn't have enough time. He was on for 10 minutes. I think he had 10 minutes to do around. And I thought Marino came on. There was a stat going around where he won more duels than anyone in the team.
Excellent.
And he's been on from the 57th minute. So, I thought for the time that he was on, he was excellent. He was really good. But yeah, it needs to be a lot better. I think there's a few. Fair play to you too for doing that. Thanks for doing that. I think there's a few of them that probably for me would have been in there as must do better. But yeah, it can be interesting to see how many of those move around going forward, especially someone like Odegaard, and Gyokeres. Go ahead, Neil.
I've got a confession to make, and James probably knows this more than anyone else. I mean, you guys probably saw it at the time with the penalty thing. I thought that it might be a bit harsh if it's given. Of course, I'll be delighted if it's given. But I think now in reflection, it's so obvious and he did get away with it. But at the time, I think because I was so upset with the team, it's almost as if I've almost done a U-turn, because I remember I used to get very upset with, and I still would, don't get me wrong, with the officiating, with all this nonsense going off. But to be fair, this season we haven't been in the brunt of it as much as in previous seasons. And I think yesterday I was just so upset and disappointed and disillusioned with the team. I was like thinking, do you know what? I just thought, well, if it's given, it's harsh, but fair enough. If we get it, I'll be delighted. But James was like, no, that's definitely a penalty and definitely a penalty. And then when on reflection, I started thinking about it, reading some stuff. I've changed my mind. So I apologise for that, James. I was wrong, but it still doesn't take away the disappointment of the team's performance. It doesn't. At the end of the day, we shouldn't have to rely on one or two moments like that. I mean, I know they can change games. I firmly believe that we can be playing bad and something like that, if it should be given and it's not given, is not fair. It's not justice. Yeah. But at the same time, with all due respect to Nottingham Forest, there is no easy game in the Prem, but I still think we should be putting them to bed.
Yeah.
We didn't.
100%. 100% agree with that. We just got some in the chat. Got James saying Raya was the only one solid. The rest can go in mixed. And Odegaard, Gyokeres, Martinelli, Madueke can go in much do better. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was sort of angling along when I did it as well. Obviously, Steve says Ben White excellent. What else is he going to say? He's the first. He's got the first membership card 001 for the Ben White fan club. So of course he's going to say he was excellent. Mac has said mixed with Timber, but he's not a left back. Yeah, absolutely. Steve said Zubimendi solid, and Odegaard must do better. Mac saying Zubimendi was the best on the pitch. Yeah, thought he was tidy as well. Steve saying Deck very good. I think he's matched what you guys said. Max said Odegaard ungraded, worst player on the pitch. Might have to do another category for that one. Yeah, another tier. Steve said mixed as well. Nonny must do better. Yeah, looked like he was back at Chelsea. Yeah, frustrating. Really frustrating from him. Really. Max said Gyokeres again ungraded, terrible, slow and clumsy. And James has said if you can do the 6-7 meme with the football inside the box and not letting it be a penalty was mad. Do by payroll Oliver. Darren England was never going to give it. Yeah. Obviously, after what happened with City this earlier on, yeah, probably. It's crazy. It's crazy how that wasn't given as a penalty. Absolutely insane, absolutely insane. And James said Aina was doing an audition for the old Wingley Brother Circus with that juggling, yeah. He said, Wingley Brothers, he's typing too quick, he's trying to get it out too quickly. Just talk about, let's forget about that game now. And move on to Inter. What are you thinking, Cornelius? How much is he going to rotate? How much does he need to rotate in this one? When you consider it's almost a dead rubber. We are in the top two. You need to be in the top two to make sure you kind of get your second legs at home as far as you go in the knockout stages. What are you thinking?
I know Arsenal are top, but where are Inter in the league, in the Champions League?
Inter are third in the table, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but maybe someone in the chat could let us know. But I'll have a look now and see just where the standings are. And no, PSG are third. Inter are 6 at the moment. Inter are 6 in the table. We've got 18 points. Bayern has got 15. So.
It's the top 8 that go through, isn't it? Without having to.
The top 8 go through, but basically, as it stands, we have got. Bear with me. Let me just get this. Yes. But go ahead. What would you do? Would you go strong to try and get some sort of system goals flowing, or get a good performance in before you play Man United, or do you just park that and do you?
Remember that Arteta's cautious. I'd like to think he'd rotate anyway. The game means more to Milan than it does to us anyway, doesn't it? Yes. I'd like to think some of our squad that haven't had the outings should get around this time. and perhaps rest the likes of Saka a little.
Yeah.
What do you think, Neil?
Oh, is he gone again?
All right, we're up. Thank you.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button and I lost the screen. My apologies. Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, Cornelius, just before I answer that, I just want to make one point very quickly as well, just to play devil's advocate about the games. I think I've been pretty negative and upset by it. We can talk about fine margins as well. There was a world-class save that took place that stopped us getting 3 points yesterday. That header from Saka could not have done any better. I think even the goalkeeper was slightly blindsided by his own player, and he still managed to get a fingertip save, which if Ray had done that, would be singing praises all day long. It was a fantastic save. So we dropped 2 points there, and if you think about it, we lost another 2 points with another moment of magic when Liverpool beat us at Anfield. So sometimes you can look at these things, and I'm trying to play devil's advocate now. I don't know why. I shouldn't give these boys anything. They need to do better. But, however, I'll be nice and say, okay, you've played a lot of away games. It's still a tough situation to be in. And there was 2 moments where, fine margins can mean a lot. Let's just make sure we rectify that against Man United. And for that reason, I want to see the players that have not been getting a fair chance play against Milan. Now, I don't want to lose any game. I want to end up doing the unbeaten, the quad unbeaten at some point in our history, right? I do not want to lose any game. I don't want to lose any momentum. However, we are in a very fortuitous position in the Champions League, where even if we drop points to Milan, we have got a bottom of the table team to play at the end, which I'm sure we will get the points that we need to. It doesn't matter if we don't come first. It doesn't matter because we haven't won the Champions League. What matters is we end up in the top 2, which will then assure us that we get the knockout, the next few rounds. We will be playing home second leg. Yeah. So that's the important thing, because we've done top 8. There's no question. Now it's just about finishing top 2. I still believe if we drop points against Milan, we can still win that final game, and then we'll be fine. It doesn't matter if we finish with an unblemished record. For that reason, I want to see change. I want to see Marino. I want to see Kai Havertz. I want to see Eze. I want to see those kind of players. Even Mosquito's back, apparently.
Yeah,
I don't know if you mind giving him a run out.
He was on the bench.
Right. So play him as well, because... And you know what? I'll still say that even with those players and those changes, I still think we will give Milan a good game. Still think it.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why everyone's going about squad depth, because we don't. This squad is supposed to be at the situation or the position now where if we make changes, the levels are not supposed to drop that much, if at all, in some cases. So we can do it, but I do not want to see Odegaard. He doesn't deserve it. If he applies the same ruling that he has done with Eze, then I'm sorry, mister, you drop your captain.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that there are certain key players rested, because obviously Man United are going to be so buoyed now from that recent result against Manchester City. Of course, when it comes to playoffs, they're going to play like world champions again, like the Man United of old when they were, under Ferguson. So we've got a really tough game. Doesn't matter if it's at home. We've got a very, very tough game against Manchester United. And for me, I know people are going to say, why are you saying this? But for me, the Premiership is the ultimate goal this season. We have to win that Premiership. Yeah? The Champions League we can work on later if we don't get it this season. But the Premiership is the ultimate goal. We make sure that we beat Manchester United this weekend.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a number of things have happened. At the weekend, obviously, has changed his mind over the way he may have wanted to set up. Which I think one of them is obviously United's performance against City, not just the result, but the performance, the what they did. People were saying they're running and everything, and what they're doing. They had 3 goals disallowed for offside.
3, yeah.
City had a couple of chances, but the way they ran over them was pretty impressive. And all of a sudden, you're thinking, okay, you've got a live Man United to contend. They've got a free week. They've got nothing to do. They've got all that preparation. And then all of a sudden we throw in that performance against Forest. And all of a sudden he's thinking, okay, well then I need to try and get things back on track a little bit. But I think United, like you said, our performance in the Champions League so far has earned us this to have a a bit of a dead rubber because of what we've done so far. So we can afford to not lose, but not throw all our eggs into to win, to make sure we don't lose. But as I think James has said in the chat, and I think as well, Inter beat us last year. We shouldn't have lost that game. I think we was all over them second half. We just couldn't finish. Doesn't that remind you of something? We just couldn't put our chances away. So I think he might want to get something back. But I think if he looks at the bigger picture, rotate the squad, make sure that the strong as a team that he wants to play is ready for that game against United, because that's going to be a hell of a game. The way that they were playing, and the way Carrick has probably released the shackles somewhat. But yeah, I think Arteta will just go down there, hopefully just to not lose and make sure we get out of there with a point. And as Brenny said, that's the only game we can afford to really drop points. And then we've got the team that's rock bottom of the league, Kyriat at the end at home. I mean, if you can't get a win there to secure your top, first placing or second, then what the hell are we doing in the competition anyway? So there's that you've got to look at. So yeah, I think it will be a mixed match, mishmash kind of team, and then obviously he'll make substitutions, obviously as and when, to make sure that everyone's ready for that United game, because that's going to be a tough game. James just saying, begging Hincapié or the old Romano Milan to be fit for God's sake, need one of them back. Yeah. Calafiori's disappearance is, I don't know where he is. It's was only a couple of days, but we need him back. It's good to have Mosquera back because he gives us options. At the back, obviously with Timber playing left back, don't really like that. But then Mosquera, I think he can play there, but obviously he's more used to playing on the other side, right back or right centre back. But interesting week to look forward to as usual.
Are we winning? Games. Are we beating Man United? Come on, Michael, put it on the spot.
I think so. I think we would have been stung. I think a few harsh words would have been said over the Forest game. We've got, obviously, as I think Cornelius made a reference to it earlier about Declan Rice, what he said at the game, and there it is there.
I don't remember an interview, so did they lip read him or what?
So he pretty much said what we were all thinking at the time, and he didn't know that the camera would be on him at the time. I mean, but they got cameras everywhere. But I mean, he's probably thinking, flipping hell, of all the people they've put a camera on, they could have put a camera on anybody. They put it on him, and then he said that he's not. He that camera's 100 yards away. So he doesn't even know that it's on him, and so he's probably thinking, "Oh Jesus, I'm going to get it in the neck from Mikel and AirPod Albert and stuff like that, saying stuff. What are you making?
This all the time now, don't they? They regularly put their hands on.
Yeah, I know. But when they're talking together with each other, then you see that. But he's kind of just walking to himself, and he's just uttered that. And it's like he doesn't know the camera's on him. He doesn't, it's not like someone's like 2 yards away and he's sort of like they do sometimes. And he wouldn't have done that if he didn't know. But I'm sure he would have had a few, choice words with Arteta to say, well, what are you making that in reference to? My system? Any particular player? I mean, people are saying, like James said, the people are saying he's playing into the cameras now. It's absolutely ridiculous. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know the camera's there. They don't say about Arteta playing up to the touchline. Yeah, they don't. It's just ridiculous. It's just another narrative, another talking point to hit Arsenal over the head with, because it's Arsenal Football Club. So yes, we will beat United. I think it'll be a bit of a hair and scaring game. I think they'll score against us, but I think we'll be stung a little bit and have to put in a performance, and a couple of certain individuals will need to step up. Because I think
hat trick.
That'd be lovely. That'd be lovely. I just want to see one of our forwards score rather than own goals all the time. It's been a while, hasn't it? You confident, Neil? Are you confident, Cornelius, for them? For Man United?
We beat them at their place. Opening game of the season, 1-0, didn't we? Was it Gabriel got the win from? I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that, isn't it? Because at the start of the season, people were saying that we scraped that win against United, and people will look back at that and say that's a good win. That might turn out to be a good win. Funny that, you saw what happened at the weekend. It's probably looking like it was a good win, wasn't it? Yeah, it's funny how life.
Did they not beat Liverpool at Old Trafford as well? Or am I getting that mixed up?
They beat Liverpool at Anfield.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Yeah, they beat Liverpool at Anfield.
All right,
yeah,
so all right, fair play.
Obviously Liverpool still got to go there. So yeah, a long way to go. So
4-1.
Oh, that'd be nice. But yeah.
I'm not predicting midweek because I'm not saying I don't care, but it's a difficult one. But 4-1 on the weekend.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Worst scenario, if we lose and Bayern Munich win, we're still joint top on points anyway. So,
yeah. How many points have we got? I took it off again.
18.
Yeah,
18. They've got 15.
Yeah, so it's goal difference, and then and it's basically a case of just making sure that we finish the job in the final game. Which
I think I looked at it, and I think if we get even if we get one, or even if we get a point, we're probably going to be guaranteed. But just to make sure, I think if we just get one win in the last two, so we just get 3 points in the last
one
two,
win.
We'll have second.
We'll
place.
be in the top two.
Top two. Yeah.
We just need a win. Yeah, one win to make sure.
So we could afford to lose against Milan and make sure we beat the last team.
Yeah. So who knows what will happen in the other games? One of the teams behind us might drop points as well, and then we won't even need to worry about that. Fingers crossed, we'll do the business and we'll get out of there unscathed against Inter, and then obviously get ready for the United game. We need to. Yeah, we need to do double over them, turn them over again. It'd be nice.
It'd be so nice, right?
Because apparently they're back again. For the seventh time this season. After a good result, unbelievable.
What an opportunity to shut them up, eh?
Yes, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Absolutely lovely. But thank you again, gentlemen. Thank you, Cornelius, for coming back. I hope you enjoyed it. Get you back on again soon for your hat trick appearance. Obviously, Neil, the Arsenal, Jason Bourne, the most dangerous Arsenal fan alive, the Arsenal John Wick. Neil, thank you as always. Really appreciate it. Hope you like the player ratings. We'll see how it goes. And
but please, can you make some other categories, please? Because Odegaard and Gyokeres didn't fit in any of them. Yeah.
I'll have to do bang average or
no, non-existent or get out of the club. How about get out of the club?
Yeah, have to do something like that. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone dropping comments in the chat. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your time on this Sunday evening. I'm off to get some rum just before to finally wash away that performance yesterday and look ahead to the week to come. Have a lovely rest of the week. Thanks for all your kind words, and we'll be back probably not after the Inter game, but after the Man United game. We'll have a show out probably on the Monday. Hopefully before that will be a good one. But thanks to you, Cornelius. Thanks to Neil. Thanks to everyone in the chat. All the best and up the Arsenal.
Central figure again, and he looks to trick. My goal!